This is your time.
So the 2017 Power Rangers movie is out, and I have a review on my channel of said film, non-spoiler of course, but I want to tell you that if you have not seen the movie yet, be very careful because I will be going over spoilers in this video. I want to talk about what they could do for possible sequels to the Power Rangers movie. Saban and Lionsgate have already talked about doing a sequel to the Power Rangers film. In fact, they went a step further and said that Saban, Haim Saban himself, was picturing 6 movies, a 6-film story arc, a 6-film storyline, and it's very hard for franchise to actually hit the big 6 unless you do some kind of a cinematic universe type of thing with different characters. This is just going to be Power Rangers 2, and so on and so forth. So if this movie does well, which I do believe it will, we will get sequels to the movie. Now, because Power Rangers has been on television since 1993, August 28th, 1993 to be exact, they have tons and tons of ideas and storylines that they can pull from not just the American Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but also from Super Sentai. In Japan, Super Sentai began with 1975's Himitsu Sentai Gorenja, and in 1992 is when Saban had first adapted Kyoto Sentai Zyuranger into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But I do think that with these upcoming sequels, I think that what they're going to do is focus more on pulling storylines from just the original MMPR. Even though they have been borrowing things like the Zeo Crystal, for example, which was in Season 3 of Power Rangers and into Power Rangers Zeo, I don't think they're going to be pulling too much from the future. And you have to remember that this is going to be a different universe with absolutely no ties to the original, with the exception of ideas and concepts that they are taking from the original Power Rangers. Now, if you watch the Power Rangers movie, and again, once again, careful for spoilers, you know that the film actually ends not with Rita Repulsa being killed. She gets sent into space and is frozen in ice. Yeah, it was kind of a wacky ending, but that's pretty much what happened in the movie. So if you're paying attention to the film, you find out from Zordon that Rita at one time was a Power Ranger. She was one of them, but she lost her way. That's pretty much what Zordon says in the movie. She is, of course, the Green Ranger. She has the green coin. She dresses in green. You can tell that the Green Ranger powers start with her. Now, in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, she, of course, created the Green Ranger from Tommy. Everybody who saw the show remembers that. That's what she did. But in this version of the events, she used to be the Green Ranger, but she lost her way. One of the things that was not answered in the Power Rangers movie is, well, how did Rita lose her way? What did she do to become evil? The obvious answer I've been hearing from a lot of people who are fans of the movie who saw it is, of course, the villainous Lord Zedd from Season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The idea that Lord Zedd corrupted Rita into being evil, I think would make great sense for the backstory of Rita Repulsa. It could be one of those things where she obviously is evil in this film, but perhaps it could be an Anakin Skywalker situation where she used to be a great benevolent hero, but she fell to the dark side because she was seduced by power or possibly even brainwashed by a greater villain. It could be Lord Zedd, it could be Master Vile from MMPR Season 3, could be her brother Rito Revolto. This is, of course, if they take these characters from the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But Lord Zedd is 100% American made. He was not in Kyoto Sentai Zyuranger, and he was not in Gosei Sentai Dairanger, which is where they adapted the second season of MMPR when Lord Zedd was the villain. In Dairanger, it was the Gorma tribe, which again, they could use that as a villain for a sequel to the movie, but again, I think they're sticking to the American lore. So I'm going to pretty much predict or assume that in the sequel to Power Rangers, Lord Zedd will make an appearance. They own the rights to the character, and they own the rights to pretty much all the characters that were in MMPR that Toei had established that relationship with Saban many years ago to not only give them the characters, but give them the costumes once the Super Sentai version had already aired. So the idea that Lord Zedd converted Rita into evil also, I think, fits. Plus, the other big thing is Rita was, of course, sealed away as a skeleton for many years, and we have, of course, alien technology being involved in this because we never really are told where the Power Rangers' power came from, and we're also told that there are different planets. Plus, in the film, Rita herself tells the Rangers that others are going to be coming for the power. It was kind of like the end of Batman v Superman when Lex Luthor gives us the hint that there are bigger foes out in space. I think that might be what Rita was alluding to. And of course, if you watch Power Rangers, you know that there are aliens, both good and bad. So it really would not shock me if this existed. Now, the one thing also I want to point out is that Rita was shocked when she saw the Megazord, almost as if she had never seen it before. But that doesn't mean that somewhere, someplace on some planet, maybe even on Earth, but probably somewhere else, the Dragonzord, the movie version of Dragonzord, exists. With the way that the Green with Evil story arc played out in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers show, it was 5 episodes. In Zyuranger, I think it was about 7, if I remember correctly. It was 5 in the American one, which again, could be a 2.5-hour movie with some changes. I could totally see them introducing Tommy again into this universe. Of course, it would be a different actor, not Jason David Frank, although he may make a cameo like he did in this movie. And you could have a story where Rita returns to Earth, or possibly Lord Zedd finds her in space. They come back to Earth, and either she ends up going back to the good side, dying and giving her power to Tommy, or you eliminate Tommy altogether and you make her into a Power Ranger. I don't see that being the case because she does not fit in with the other teens because she's like 1 billion years old, but I do like the concept of her coming back, getting killed in battle, and giving the power to Tommy. Remember, this is a different universe. We're telling different stories here. You don't have to match up with the series. If you remember in the series, Rita and Lord Zedd got married. I don't think that's happening in the film version. In fact, if Lord Zedd is going to be coming in, I feel like it would make more sense to make him even darker of an enemy than what he was in MMPR. Many parents actually complained about Lord Zedd when he first appeared in Power Rangers, citing that he was too demonic looking and too scary. I mean, the dude had like blood going through these like metal veins, and you could see it. His brain was exposed. He was a scary looking guy. For the film version, they could make him even more menacing and even more ruthless than even Rita was. And I think that should be the main villain going forward in the future films. I think he should be the main villain because remember, we're playing on nostalgia here. I think the idea of having the Machine Empire, they could do that. They could even have them be in league with Lord Zedd. But when you start getting to more of the parody stuff like Divatox and the Car Rangers, and I don't think it's going to work for a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers serious movie. However, I do think that with the upcoming sequels, you could introduce Dragonzord in the second film, re-release the toys, and then you have like a Mega Dragonzord combination, and then possibly even bring in Titanus in the second or third movie, and then with the fourth movie and on, you could bring in the Thunderzords or possibly the Ninja Zords, but I would avoid using the Ninja Zords because the first Power Rangers theatrical movie already used that plot point, and I feel like if they have a quest where the Rangers have to get ninja powers, it would mirror that original movie a little bit too much, so you want to make it different. Or you could always have the Rangers tap into the power of the Zeo crystals like they did in the TV series and, well, become the Power Ranger Zeo, or at least the modern version of the Power Ranger Zeo. Of course, that was derived from Chokiri Sentai O-Ranger in Japan, which is actually a very serious, well, sometimes it was serious show about a band of military-funded rangers who defended the Earth against the Baranoia Machine Empire. You could always bring in that because the idea of a Machine Empire coming to Earth, I think fits a lot more with what they're doing with these movies, the darker, more realistic tone, than having somebody wacky like Divatox come in. I don't think it fits for this version of Power Rangers. But also, I think what they should probably try to do is, in my opinion, have some more exclusive things that weren't in the original Power Rangers. You could bring in Lord Zedd, the Dragonzord and Titanus, the Thunderzords, and the Machine Empire all you want to, but I also feel they should have some more exclusive villains, maybe even inspired from the Sentai if you want to do that, or possibly bring in new Zords that can upgrade the Megazord that's not just Dragonzord and Titanus. Remember, they don't have to be limited by the original Zyuranger, mecha, they can always develop new mecha that would meld and mix with these. But of course, they're going to have to re-release them and re-release new toys, which means more money. And if you know these movies, you know that all these movies and these TV shows are basically half-hour long, or if you're talking about a movie, 2-hour long toy commercials. Because if you're a fan of anything from Japan that's aimed at kids, you know that they're pretty much just big-ass toy commercials. Anyways, let me know what you think down below in the comments. What kind of storylines do you want to see adapted into Power Rangers, the theatrical new reboot series? Do you want to see Green with Evil? Do you want to see Rita, a backstory on her? Do you think Lord Zedd would fit? Are there any modern Sentai villains from like the modern era, the recent episodes, the recent seasons that could fit? Thank you so very much. Have a great day.